Hello, welcome to Relatively Ordinary. This is Betsy in the studio, our new studio.
Indeed, this is Karl, and my butt is comfortable for the first time, maybe ever, that we've recorded a podcast. We
It's
can just
a lot
sit
more comfortable.
and be natural and comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, as natural as you can be with a light shining in your face and a
I
microphone,
mean, that's
headphones on.
that's
Is this,
showbiz, baby.
oh, okay. It's
That
more
is
natural
showbiz,
for
baby.
you.
Yep,
Yeah, because you're always used to the limelight.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, we got a new setup, which is really a lot more comfortable than we're used to.
absolutely.
And it goes to show our, growth and popularity,
Yep,
right?
yep, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, for those of you who have tuned in for our hour-long podcast, now that we're comfortable, this baby could go 2, 3, 4 hours.
No, thank you.
We could be recording 4-hour podcasts every
No,
other
that
day.
sounds terrible.
Yeah, I mean, so much to talk about.
I don't know about your free time, but mine is not that generous.
I mean, it's not for us. It's for our
Oh,
legions of fans.
oh, yes,
I
that's
hear
right.
I hear we're huge in Rhode Island.
Yes, yes.
Multiple listeners in the state of Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
go roadie. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
You're right. I did hear that.
Yep.
That's pretty
We're in the
cool.
top 100,000 podcasts in Rhode Island.
Love it. All right. So cool. What's happening, babe? Do you have
Well,
a good day celebrating me?
yes, I mean, it's Mother's Day, so we have
Mhm.
to celebrate you and
All the
all the
mamas.
mothers out there. And I actually
Mhm.
have a
Oh.
important message
Oh, you do.
for all the moms out there that I
Okay.
want to share with the world.
I hope it's serious. You're
It
not gonna
is
be a
deadly
smartass.
serious.
What are you gonna do? Oh, I love it. For those who are only listening, Carl is sporting his I Love Hot Mom shirt. I do not have I Love Hot Dads on here, but I'll save that for Father's Day,
Save
perhaps.
it for Father's Day. Yep.
Yep. So for those who are not familiar with Old Orchard Beach, it is a classic beach town in Maine. I don't know, how do I describe it
It's a
without being
place
insulting?
where you are authentically yourself. And so if
Yes.
you're French Canadian and you want to wear a hot pink wiener bikini,
Yep.
you can go for it.
Mhm.
If you want to tell the world how much you love Trump, by golly, go for it.
Yes.
And if you love hot moms, wear your I Love Hot Moms
Yes.
t-shirt.
And if you don't own one, you can pretty much purchase one on
You
every
can
street corner.
definitely buy one while you're there.
So
I don't
last year
have the only one.
So last year when Carl and I were visiting Old Orchard Beach, we bought our I Love Hot Mom and Dad shirts and we wore them around a little bit, didn't we?
Absolutely.
I forget.
Yeah, we had that
Well, that
we had
goes
that
to show.
really nice dinner at Joseph's we wore 'em.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
No, we did not. We have some integrity. But yeah, it's sweet. So you got to whip it out sometimes. I love it. Thanks, babe. That
Yeah,
was so
I did
nice.
that for you
That's so nice
and
of
all
you.
the hot moms out there.
All the hot moms,
Yep.
all of us.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So, it was good Mother's Day. My kind of day, just low key, kicking
Yeah.
it back.
Sold a lot of plants.
Sold some plants, did a fundraiser for the I Can Bike Camp. Again, for those who don't know me, and I haven't already hit you up for money. I support a nonprofit camp.
We'll drop a QR code in the
Yes.
comments.
I support a nonprofit camp to help teach children with disabilities how to ride a two-wheel bike. So, yep, that's what we did. I have been growing little planties and they were populating all over the house. And now, fortunately, we sold most of them. So,
Yeah. Pretty good results.
yeah, and I
And
have my bathroom back
yeah,
now.
the bathroom and my office are no longer
A
a
greenhouse.
greenhouse, so
Yeah. But that was fun. I really enjoyed that. Both the plant sale, but also the growing. That was the first time I did it. So
yeah,
kind of a new hobby.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Great way to spend the day and
Hmm.
raise some money for the camp. So
Yeah.
nice work.
Thank you. Thanks for all your help. You were
Yeah.
my sidekick through the whole thing.
Um,
Forcibly so, but like still, you did a great job helping me.
like I said, It's one of my favorite things to do is do what you tell me to do. So, let's move into our quick bite question.
All right. What do you got for me?
So, gonna kind of keep this one simple, but what is the most personally important sign of spring
Oh.
that you experience?
Well, I still feel like in Maine we go from winter to summer. It's very abrupt. And then there's like a few muddy days. Sign of spring. I think when the
I
daffodils come up.
Okay.
Don't uh, you were about to rush me.
Well, I was about to highly disagree because you definitely do not go from winter to
No,
summer.
I
You
know. I
you
know.
go from winter to like purgatory for
Yeah.
what feels like 9 months, and then you have
Yeah.
8 weeks of summer that are
Ah,
the most glorious 8 weeks of
yes.
your life,
Yes. I wish they were a
and
little
then you
bit
start
longer.
dying again.
Yeah, but it's definitely the daffodils. I get so excited when I see their little green shoots. And
Mhm.
now they're like little surprises all over the yard. And I planted some extra ones last year. Brings me joy. How about you? Oh,
I think it's the ferns.
I thought you were
You
going to
have
say baseball
fiddleheads.
season, spring
Yeah.
season.
No, well, it's just it's like when you live in Maine, you're like you watch spring. It's like the Masters comes on,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the green grass down in Georgia,
Oh,
and people
so
wearing
mean.
shorts, and you're like,
What?
there's still snow on the ground. I'm going skiing. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
And then, and we've traveled south for a variety of reasons over the past 6 weeks, and you see like spring creeping up the East Coast, but what
Yeah.
you see in Boston is like what we're gonna get maybe 10 days later.
Yeah.
And if you're down in New York, it's probably they're, 2.5 weeks ahead of us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you just see that slow
That's crazy.
progression. But here, when the fiddleheads come out and they really start to unfurl into ferns, is when it's
Hmm.
like, okay,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be warm now.
And that happens quickly. It
Yeah.
just overruns the woods and it's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Our woods just kind of green up. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, boom, you wake up one day and
Yeah. It is crazy because it's so wide open right now. You can see through the trees because the leaves aren't all the way in. And then that all just fills in and gets lush and green. It's pretty
yeah.
magical.
Yeah.
All right. Like the question. Okay. So this ain't gonna be simple. You're gonna have to put your thinking cap on because the topic I have for today, I'm quite interested in learning. And I'm going to pull out my show notes. You have some knowledge in this. Now, you can't pull any crap out of your ass though,
Yeah.
okay?
So we're either talking about baseball,
Mm-mm.
tacos,
Mm-mm. You
or
know a lot about tacos? You know a lot about eating tacos.
yeah, I don't know what else I know a lot about. So
Okay. Well, it's about security.
security.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like security blanket,
Yes.
feeling good.
Yes, kind of like that, but not at all. All right. So, cybersecurity.
Oh, cybersecurity.
Yeah. Are you exactly?
Let's nerd
So,
out.
okay, okay, because I have a lot of questions that listeners might have too. And okay, so anyway, here's my little intro spiel. We function a lot online, right? I mean, I do, and I'm not even that savvy, but banking, healthcare, education, tons of communication, shopping. I mean, you name it, goes on and on. And that convenience comes with growing vulnerability, such as cyber attacks and data breaches. And this came up, you were talking a little bit about your theory. And for those who are listening, I'll elaborate a little bit about why that, um, I guess it was like an error in the security alert for the potential
Mm-hmm.
what I don't know, whatever alert it is when they think that there's some crime or a potential shooter, active shooter at
Yeah.
the
So you're
school.
talking about there was an Alice alert, which is the active
Alice, there
shooter
you go. Thank you.
warning alert that turned out to be a false alarm.
Yes.
And my maybe overly sensitive to conspiracy
Hmm.
brain went to thinking that this might be part of a larger
Yes.
cyber attack.
Yes. And the interesting thing, because our son was at the high school when this happened, he, along with dozens of other students jumped out the window,
Yeah.
first floor window.
Well, I
Scary
mean,
stuff, but
yeah.
also like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of a meeting with my boss,
Mhm.
Zoom call with my boss. I haven't talked to him in like a week and a half in a real meaningful way. So it's an important meeting. And then I look at my phone and I see a text
Yeah.
from my son saying, "Don't know what's going on. There's an active shooter alert at the school."
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, of course, my heart jumps into my throat and I'm
Mhm.
texting him and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, stay calm, follow
Mhm.
instructions. You've done these drills. Like, and I'm thinking it's probably not the situation. It's more likely that it's an alert, it's a false alarm or it's,
Mhm.
a test. But,
Mhm.
you know, I
You
mean,
don't know.
this is the world we live in, right? It's every
Yes.
parent's worst nightmare. And,
Yes, and the kids too. And so if anything, because it ended up being a false alarm, it was super disruptive.
yep,
And, that was one thing. And then more recently, and you probably read about this, the educational platform Canvas faced security
yep.
incidents that raised concerns about student information, very disruptive to instruction. And it just really put out there how exposed our personal data really is. And interestingly, this was the largest educational security breach affecting nearly 9,000 institutions, like maybe they said about 40% of universities and some K-12 public schools. So as technology advances, we know that the tactics by hackers and scammers and cyber criminals also improve and are maybe one step ahead. I think this brings up a lot of questions, just curiosities I have. So I'm curious why, or if you could explain, like really what is happening when there's a cyber attack and why are they so frequent? Because I did a little bit of a dive into some of the cyber criminal activity that's happening both nationally, which is really scary. We're talking about like Iran, China. They mention other countries that are pretty involved with this, Russia, North Korea, and then, what's happening within country and like from small scale to large corporation. Like, what is it? Just give me your understanding, and why is it becoming so frequent, or has it always been so frequent?
So, I mean, I first want to, just make sure that you and everybody who might listen to this understands that my credentials in the field of
Oh yes.
cybersecurity are, I took a few graduate classes 20 years ago, and I worked for a cybersecurity company for about 3.5 years.
Hmm.
So I'm not exactly an expert, but that said, I do find the topic very interesting,
Hmm.
and I'm happy to
No, way more than I do.
make shit up if I don't know what I'm talking
No,
about.
don't, no, you're
But
not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that.
sorry. I thought you said I should
No,
do that.
don't pull it out of your ass.
No, well,
I'm not the only one listening, so you
I
can't
mean,
do that this time.
first of all, there are cyber attacks because there's
Money,
value in cyber attacks.
mhm,
There's money to steal. There's
data.
data to steal.
And why is the data so valuable? Why do they care about getting our personal information? Is it
Well, yeah, data is incredibly valuable. You think about like what's happened, you know, what Meta and Google have
mhm,
done with personal data and how they've been able to monetize that, and then more darkly than just commerce, like how information has been manipulated in elections and
mhm,
political ads and
mhm,
things like that. So there's a ton of power in
mhm,
data. If you can have, and I think what's fascinating, you know it's unfortunate that as a data is a computer science nerd who also happens to not be evil and be fairly altruistic. Like, there's so many amazing things, positive things you can do with data, if you
yeah,
can have the I don't remember what the stat is off the top of my head, but there is some research that's been done of like you can the number of data points that it takes to like really kind of understand the bulk of how a person is going to behave in the broad sense
Hmm.
is like shockingly small. It's like 21 or something like that. It's like,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you know everything about that person, but
Yeah.
it's like, you think about,
Targeted
yeah,
advertising.
you
Yeah.
think about, you're a female of a certain age, you're obviously straight, you have kids,
Obviously straight.
you have a certain education level.
Hmm.
You can sort of predict like, what kind of car you're likely to drive, right? And
Yeah.
you think about it, it's like pretty logical, right? Like you probably don't drive a Corvette like your son wishes you did. You probably drive a Subaru Crosstrek,
Yep.
there's probably only, you know, 4 or 5 different cars that someone like you would
Hmm.
drive. And,
Interesting.
you know, so that becomes, I mean, even, okay, even if you say like, it's not necessarily altruistic, but if you're like, someone at Toyota and you're trying to figure out like, how do we design the perfect car for this person and this
Yeah.
profile, right? There's so much of
Hmm.
marketing is like creating these marketing personas,
Yeah.
and it's a caricature of a
Hmm.
type of person that you're trying to market a
Yeah.
product to. And really good marketers do that really well, and really good product people build products for
Hmm.
those people. And that's something that's like, just that's good kind of clean capitalism, the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to work.
Yeah. Well, and I would say something that's altruistic is using big data to drive health informatics,
Sure. Yeah.
right? And so we want better patient outcomes. You use that data to, you know, basically research and come up with better ways to uh, diagnose and treat
Yeah.
different health
Yeah.
conditions.
I mean, it's a lot of what, a lot of what like Democrat policy is built on these ideas of how do we, do things that are going to have the most benefit for the widest range
Mhm.
of people, right?
Mhm.
And if you have that data and you can hone in on it, on positive interventions that help a lot of people, then you do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So,
But this is using data for evil.
but the flip side, right, is that I if I have all of that data on you, then potentially I can use that to manipulate you, or I
Yeah.
can use that to trick you, or I can use that to, you know, um, make guesses about, how you might behave, so that I, can predict your behavior and take advantage of you. It's just
Mhm.
like it it can go so the dividing line is so thin on that,
Yeah.
and it's really about like the intent of the
Mhm.
person. I am continually amazed at how many bad people there are in the
Yeah.
world, and
Yeah.
um, it's not most people, it's not the majority,
Mhm.
but there are more bad people than I would have thought. And right now we have, I mean, our federal government, this administration,
Mhm.
one of the first things they did when they came into office was dismantle cybersecurity apparatus in national intelligence, in military, in civilian sectors. And it's like, why would you do that
Yeah, it seems more
unless
important than ever.
you purposefully want to make things worse for people,
Mhm.
or you have some collaboration
Yep.
with an attacker
Yeah.
that you're trying to open up the gates to. I
Mhm.
mean, that's just, there's no reason to do that. Like you could say, "Hey, this isn't working and we're going to fix it."
Yeah.
Um
But it didn't seem that way.
Certainly any, when you're talking about people like Cash Patel and Pete Hegseth, like they're not going to fix problems with cybersecurity.
No.
They have no business
Yeah,
in
not
touching
their
anything with that, but
expertise.
it's very scary. So
Mhm.
I think there's, you know, it boils down to the why boils down to its power and its money.
Okay. Now, I'm a 5-year-old, and I want you to talk to me about the technology, the ones and the zeros. And for those who don't know what I mean, it's like the the nuts and bolts of how programming works, I
Yeah.
guess.
We're not going to talk about ones and
No,
zeros.
but spell out for me, like, what is actually happening? Like, what do the cyber criminals do? What is actually happening with that cyber attack?
So
Or, like, the basics, like, what are some
think
of the
about
things you might have seen?
you have, I mean, the internet introduced, I mean, the internet obviously was incredible from an innovation standpoint, innovation and connectivity,
Mhm.
but also now everyone's connected.
Yeah.
And we've moved into, this idea of the Internet of Things, which is, devices connected to the internet in your house, and everything's kind of connected to the internet, which there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. Like we have a thermostat that I can check on the temperature at the house when I'm away.
Mhm.
If, Maine winter, the heat shuts off and the pipes are at risk of freezing and I'm in a different state, I can at least be aware of that and call someone to go over to my house and check on, the
Mhm.
thing. That's a pretty cool feature. But the cost of that connectivity is that every entry point into your network
Wow.
of devices is a
Even
vulnerability point.
even the thermostat.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So,
How about the garage door opener?
um, well, so here's the thing you can do. This is actually saw something about this recently that was very interesting. So, there are a lot of devices in your house that and we don't have a ton of smart home stuff, but I like it. I like it,
Mhm.
the convenience and the
Yeah.
features, right? So the thermostat, the thermostats have they have a motion sensor,
Mhm.
and so they know if you're in the room,
Yep.
and they're smart thermostats, so it turns off the heat if you're not in the room,
Mhm.
right? So you think about like, we have one of the dial thermostats in this room. It's the only one left in the house. And if you wanted to turn off the heat while you're going away, you got to remember to go hit the dial,
Yep.
right? And the way we can live our lives with four of us coming and going at all times, like inevitably someone's going to forget to turn the heat on when they should have turned it on. They're going to forget to turn it off when they should have turned it off, right?
Mhm.
The smart thermostat just it's cool. Like you leave
Yeah.
the room, there's no motion detected for 10 minutes. It stops heating the room.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Um, but if you are able to intercept that message as it's being sent out to some cloud device, which just means a server on the internet.
Okay.
So think of the cloud, it's basically just, you know, some computer that's not in our house, right?
Yes.
It's connected by the
It's
internet.
not a white puffy thing in the sky.
Right. Not that kind of cloud.
Okay.
So, but if you're able to intercept that message
Mhm.
that says, "Oh, nobody's in the living room. Oh, somebody's in the living room." Well, now I can figure out if somebody's in the house from remote, right? I
Yes.
can figure out if, hey, there's been no last motion detected
Mhm.
was, you know, 2 hours ago.
Mhm.
And, maybe they're asleep, but if it's the middle of the day and I know, you know, generally know their patterns, it probably means somebody left the house and the house is unoccupied,
Mhm.
right? So
Okay.
now most, most of the like cyber attackers that are out there right now, they don't really care if you're coming and
Yes.
going in your house, right?
Yeah.
But, first of all, think about if somebody truly was targeting you,
Mhm.
right? Nobody cares. We're not important enough for someone to
No.
try to kill us, right? But
No.
if you're, oh, I don't know, maybe immigration's custom enforcement and,
Mhm.
you have a mandate to go after a certain, political dissident, um, pretty easy to tell, right? To
Mhm.
track them down. Like you would, far more than that, your phone. Your
Mhm.
phone tells the world where you are exactly
Yeah.
at all times, right?
So it's intercepting data. And is that often, you think that's often done as it's being transmitted to the cloud?
Well,
Or is it like breaking in? Is it
there's
password, finding out passwords and
there's so many different
ways? Okay.
ways, and they like there's different vectors, they're called, of
Okay.
of breaking in, but the two
Mm-hmm.
kind of main things to think about is data at rest
Mm-hmm.
and data in transit. And
Okay.
so data at rest is
Like
like,
stored
yeah,
data.
there's like a database that I can break into, or an account I can break into, and I can
Okay.
see all of your data. Um,
Gotcha.
Most of the time, an attacker is probably not trying to break into your account. They're probably trying to break into the, server
Mm-hmm.
that has a million.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen those, like, data breaches where, oh,
Yeah.
12 million accounts, like
Yeah.
all of our accounts have been hacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the way, Elon Musk
Yes.
and Doge hacked into Social Security, so the entire Social Security database has
Yeah.
been compromised,
Yeah.
right? And the people in the administration opened the door for that to happen. But it's,
Yeah, that wasn't a data breach. I was like, here
yeah, I
you
mean, that was
go.
intentional. That was intentional violation. It was just like,
Mm-hmm.
here, let's hand the world's weirdest fucking man all of the, sensitive data of every American.
Mm-hmm.
That's not problematic.
No, I can't see any problems with that. Well, I'm curious if you think, you just talked about dismantling our national security, cybersecurity infrastructure, but if we should be treating cybersecurity similar to the level of physical defense. I got in a little bit of the weeds when I was looking into some of this stuff about some of the cybersecurity issues with Iran, and we're fighting a war with them right now, and I'm wondering how much that might be not necessarily a cover, but paralleled to some of the cybersecurity stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
on that?
well, I mean,
I don't know if you're the expert on that, but do you have the same wonderings?
Iran, Israel, China, North Korea, Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure the United States
Mm-hmm.
have all been shown to be extremely competent hackers.
Yes.
And, you know, who even knows? I mean, we do not know how much has been compromised. And there is a part of me that's like, even with the Social Security thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
again, so many things that are wrong with that and so much to unpack there. But even with that, I'm like, I don't know if it even matters, because I just assume that everything's been
Yeah.
compromised.
Yeah, and I guess what are the potential consequences? Have you considered potential consequences, or have people shared potential consequences?
Well, I mean, I, I think
Well,
the consequences are,
elections.
yeah, I mean, the consequences are largely about, like, who holds the power and what are they doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you have a, you know, inevitably, I think any power is going to corrupt. And
Mm-hmm.
the whole reason you have, like, the brilliance um of the American form of government is that it was designed for checking the natural human tendency towards tyranny.
Mm.
And the problem is, we've talked about it before. It's like, if any system of power, people who are naturally predisposed to be tyrants are going to flock towards that, like
Mm-hmm.
flies on shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they are unchecked, they're going to do everything they can to manipulate that system to hold that power and strengthen that power, which is exactly what you're seeing happen in our government right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you have, you know, if you're able to check the worst impulses of humanity, then you're able to control some of that. You can't control all of it,
Mhm.
right? But just
Yeah.
as you can't always control physical security, you're still going to have madmen
Yes.
who, strap a bomb to their chest and blow up a church, or,
Mhm.
who take a gun to a school or whatever. Like you
Yeah.
know, you can't, you're always going to have that. And yes, you can do things like gun control that will absolutely
Mhm.
stem some of those problems, but you're never going to fully eliminate that. I think with the data thing, it's like, you know, ultimately, if you have internet, you're going to have crime
Yeah.
related to it. And there's nothing you can do to fully secure in the security industry, and in like government security. They always talk about, just you're just trying to stay one step ahead, and you're trying to make it like encryption, the whole genius of encryption,
Mhm.
which is, just basically scrambling a message
Yeah.
so that it can only be read by someone who has the secret.
Yep.
It's not every encryption scheme is crackable, but the idea is that you make it so hard to break the code that it's not worth it to break the code.
Gotcha.
So if you were, if you and I are like,
Just because of the resources needed to break it.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's like literally like computing power and everything else,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So, um, if like you and I are like sending love notes back and forth, we don't want anyone to know what they are. We could come up with a really like
Ooh.
simple code, and anyone who came across it would be like, "This is dumb. Why are they speaking gibberish?" And they throw it out.
Okay.
We wouldn't have to make a very sophisticated code, but if
Yeah.
you are
Because no one would give a shit.
right, because nobody gives a shit. But if you're trying to, um, exchange, sending vast amounts of money,
Hmm.
in cross-border transactions, or,
Mhm.
you know, um, state secrets that are being communicated out to embassies across the world, you obviously want to have a very, very secure
Yeah.
form of encryption.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Well, and I would say that most lay people, me included, you can see the harms and how scary the physical, um you're talking about strapping a bomb and weapons and things like the physical harm that can be done by people who are seeking power and money by any means, but just can't fully appreciate the risks with the cyber attacks
Yeah.
and what
Well,
that means.
I think so. When you think about that too, is there's a couple things like from your own personal perspective.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay. Well,
Can I pause you?
I sure. I guess I just want to say, like,
Say, let it
from
out.
a personal perspective, there's protecting
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
own
Oh, we'll
accounts
talk
and your
about
own
that.
money
Okay.
and
I
things
have
like that.
questions. Mm-hmm.
And then from a larger society
Yep.
perspective, that's where I think the biggest worry is like attacks on the power grid, attacks
Yes.
on telecommunication systems.
Yes.
If you
And
could,
this stuff is happening.
it's happening. Yeah. And we're not hearing about it,
Mm.
which is scary. But
Mhm.
there's also going to be, you know, I mean, I guarantee, I guarantee there's going to be something fucking wild that happens between now and November, because
Oh.
we are in uncharted historical times, and we have battles raging on multiple fronts,
Yeah.
including from our own antagonistic government.
Mhm.
And something wild is going to happen. But you think about like when everything's connected, like power grid goes down, all internet goes down for a swath of the country, telecommunications, phone services go down. I
Mhm.
think that you know, all of these companies, these government entities, and everyone who's in control of these systems, like they are, you know, they have smart people. They're working their asses off to try to prevent those types of things from happening. But I think there is going to be a breaking point where the systems are overwhelmed. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think
Mhm.
that like in 2026 there will be a massive scale cyber attack that changes people's perspective on what cyber attacks are.
Okay. Whoa. You like predict the future here. I like when you do that. Sometimes I think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but
I hope I'm wrong.
sometimes you're right. All right, last kind of, larger scale global question here, but how is artificial intelligence playing a role in either providing better security or being used as, a role in cyber crimes? Are you familiar with anything or
Well, I haven't. So for several years now, uh, AI coding models
Mhm.
have been able to break into systems and find vulnerabilities that
Humans couldn't?
humans couldn't, not because they're incapable, but just because the sheer force of energy of AI just being relentless and being able to, AI doesn't sleep, right?
Yeah,
So,
just goes 24 hours.
if you had unlimited humans, you would solve these problems, but you don't. So
Mhm.
you're throwing AI at it. And again, it's like on the positive side, the AI finds the vulnerabilities. If you have a platform, you have a software product, you let the AI tell it to hack into your system, it finds the vulnerabilities, helps you fix them, and then your system is less vulnerable. But of course, like humans are going to use that for nefarious purposes.
Mhm.
So now you have this totally new um, attack surface and capability with AI tools. You also have a lot of code being written by AI that might be crappy and have security
Yeah.
vulnerabilities that, for all we know, the LLMs are secretly building their own backdoor into the code that they write.
Oh,
So,
it's true, and using it against us, and
yes,
that's how robots take over the world.
I mean, that's how Skynet becomes aware.
Yeah. Shh.
So,
What's that
Terminator,
mean?
little movie called Terminator,
Hold on.
which may well turn into a documentary.
Do you think I remember Terminator? It's been a
Uh,
long time. I'm not that much of a nerd.
Yeah, so the other piece with the AI thing is this, Anthropic had a new model that came out called Mythos, which
Mhm.
I haven't really read up on like the specifics of it, but it scared the crap out of everyone at Anthropic
Mm.
to the point where
No kidding.
they went and they got together with the major banks, the major tech companies, the government, and said, "We're going to give you early access to this because if we release this to the world, you're all screwed."
No kidding.
And which is, and there's some, we don't know Anthropic's true colors yet, right?
Mhm.
Right now, they seem like a more responsible AI company than others
Mhm.
who are leading the space. Um, but it was significant enough for them to signal that we need to slow this. And the the government,
And how do we know that others aren't at that point too?
well, we don't. I mean, there's no evidence. Like, you know, OpenAI could have built something that's more capable than that, and they just said, you know what, we don't want anyone to know about it. We're gonna keep it for ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Um, Anthropic could have built something more capable than that, and this is a smokescreen. And they just say, "Oh,
Yeah.
test Mythos while we're over here, taking over the world." China could have
Mhm.
something that's that powerful.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and the scary thing is there's really there we don't know enough to know how to put guardrails on any of it.
no, no, we don't. We have no idea. We are careening towards an uncertain future, and we have a lot of poorly socialized maniacs at the wheel.
Mhm. Do you have trouble sleeping at night?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we think about people, not just like us, but, a population of people in the US, how much personal information do you think we unknowingly share? Not like knowingly where we fill out something, but like how much information do you think we unknowingly share every day online? And if you could give me some specific examples, that'd be lovely.
Um, I don't know. I feel like it's like, what do we not share online?
There's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, everything, right? It's like,
And it's like that data, I'm just picturing like all the ones and zeros sending to the cloud, like
mm,
oh, she liked this and then bought
yeah.
that and then
And we
looked
have,
at this website and like cookies. What the hell are cookies and why do they call something cute? Why is it a cloud? Why is it a cookie? Like, what the hell are these things? What are these things?
what's a cookie?
Yeah, like what's a cookie? And I don't want you to have any of my cookies and I don't want you to take any, of my data and
Yeah.
then, they're just yeah. But and then, I'm not the dumbest on this stuff, but I'm pretty dumb. Okay, that's probably not a fair word. Naive. I'm
Yeah.
pretty naive, and there are people who are far more naive than me.
Yeah.
Probably most people
Yeah.
in this world are naive about all that stuff. So, like, please explain.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that what's really sad about the internet age is that the rules of social decorum that we all sort of inherited from our parents and grandparents and
And hope and
ancestors.
hopefully use in person.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is
Okay,
like the
yeah.
things that you do in person.
Mhm.
Um, if you translate the same thing to online behavior, and I'm thinking about, you know, person to person, but also like, you know, a merchant, a storekeeper, like a
Yeah.
store. Um, if
Yeah, give me like what does it equate to if I walk into a store and they took some of my cookies? Are they gonna like sniff my ass and take my pocket
well,
change? Like, what is
yeah,
it?
no, it's
Are
like,
they gonna scan my retina?
yeah, I mean, they're, you know, um, not only are they videoing you as you walk around the store, which happens today,
Yeah.
but they are um assessing your body posture and how you move and making predictions about like, oh, you know,
She touched that blouse
yeah,
and put it back immediately because of the price tag.
yeah, or like, like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if this is true or not, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they can tell when you walk into the grocery store based on like, your position of your shoulders, like you're coming in, like, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You got good posture, good energy. You're going to go to the health food aisle, buy some things that are responsible. You come in slumped and kind of dejected and tired and going for the booze and the chocolate, and like, so I think the amount of, again, it was like you think about like back in the old days, the good old days,
Mhm.
right? You'd go into a store and, depending on the type of store it was, there might be a clerk or a store manager or someone who is like, "Hey, how can I help you find that
Mhm.
thing?" Right?
Yeah.
And that's the best kind of stores are like that, right? But,
Mhm.
you go on to like Instagram or Amazon, and by the way, Amazon's amazing. Like I love Amazon from a shopping experience. It's incredible. Like what
Mhm.
they've done is incredible. But like, you know, it it also they have so much information on you. They know what you are going to buy before you know you want it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
so it's very targeted.
Yeah,
And so
and it can be very manipulative.
the cookies are just collecting data on your
I mean,
scrolling, your
all the cookie
viewing,
is
the yeah.
all
What I wanna know what a cookie is.
all the cookie is it's a basically a chunk of data that's stored on your browser
Okay.
to communicate with the server. So when you think back to like we're old enough to remember what it was like when the internet, like you go to a website
Yeah.
and it was just like a series of static pages that somebody wrote in HTML, and
Yes.
you know it didn't have a lot of like functionality. Maybe it had the like blinking text and
Yes.
crap like that,
I made websites like
stupid
that.
gifs. But
Yeah.
you know, the internet became much more interesting when it could retain some information about you and some state about your visit and then communicate that back to the server to serve up a, you know, customized experience for you. So you don't get
Oh.
like you're not able to get to, you know, being able to like log into things and to be able to sort of have this like custom experience, which is again, it's amazing, right? That technology advancement was a brilliant innovation. Then, you know, now the cookies like website puts a thing in your browser, so you download it so you can have this like more stateful interaction with the website,
Uh-huh.
but they can run code that tracks your behavior
Yes.
across multiple websites.
Yes.
So that, you know, I visit one website
Yes.
and then that website's now following me around and it knows
Yes.
what I'm doing on other websites. Like
Yes.
that's not cool, right?
No.
If if you had so the equivalent and you know would be like, okay, so back in like, you know, 1988, you go to the mall and you
Mhm.
go into like, you know, Sam Goody and you're looking at
Oh, you're going way back.
some cassette tapes
Okay.
and maybe some
Sweet.
CDs if you're
Ooh,
fancy,
I
if you're
don't know if the
fancy.
funds for that.
And and then, you know, as you're walking out the store, one of the employees
Follows me.
starts following you.
Yeah.
And then you go to JC Penney and then a JC Penney person follows you. Now you've got this like mob of people following you and tracking what you're doing,
Yeah.
and they know what stores you're going into, what you're interested,
Dropping some
right?
advertisements in my
Yeah.
face.
And then the next time you go to the mall, there's an ad that's like, Betsy, we think you'd like this thing
Oh
because
my
they've
lord.
tracked you and followed
Exactly.
you.
Okay, so cookies.
Yeah.
Now I know what a cookie is. That's
Yeah.
thank you for making
It's a
the late
creepy,
90s
yeah. It's a
uh,
creepy employee from Sears.
metaphor for me. Okay. All right. So, what are then, if we bring it a little more personal, what are common mistakes that may put a person at risk for a data breach? Like, what are some of the things like an average person like myself should not underestimate about my data? Okay, by the way, can I share a story that I think I already told you, but he owed me. I did tell you because I had a rant with her daughter in the car. So this is an example of taking my data even though I refuted to give it away. So I was at a store in Boston buying my daughter a blouse and they could only give me their receipt by email. And I was like, I'm pretty certain that little machine right there will print it. Nope, I need your email. I just don't want to get spam email. I know that's going to happen. I don't want to give you I must have said that 3 times. Sorry. So it was like, I think she even said, ma'am, okay, look, I know it's a teeny bopper store, but screw you. And, and so I gave an email. I should give,
Sorry, Karen.
I should give the old cheesy email that I think has expired, but I gave my email address. And guess what popped out of the register like 2 seconds later? A paper receipt. Now I was pissed off and I asked for it as she was crumpling it up. Oh, it'll be emailed to you. Oh my God. And guess what I got in my inbox that week? Because I don't
Spam.
spam,
Unsolicited
a
spam.
lot of spam. Bullshit.
Mhm.
Now, I know I'm griping. I'm not a Karen, by the way, but maybe in that moment I was. What does the average person do to kind of put themselves at risk? I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are things that you probably unknowingly do to be a little bit secure, more secure with your personal data that other people might be a little more
Well,
whimsy with?
I would first of all assume that everything that you put on the internet is compromised.
Done.
So
That's scary, but
it's
yes.
scary. Yeah, totally. But it's a healthier mindset than
Mhm.
thinking that you're somehow protected.
Okay.
You should use a password manager. You should make sure that you follow security, like two-factor authentication is a
For
very,
everything.
yep. So
Mhm.
that's, the little code on your phone,
Mhm.
along with your password when you log into something.
Mhm.
Um, password managers that allow you to create secure passwords. So, I have, we use one password.
Mhm.
Most of my passwords are gobbledygook. I have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
I just log into one password. It logs me in. I have no illusions that my one password gets cracked. Everyone
Done.
has all of my passwords, but,
Yeah.
um, you know,
That's
they're,
tricky to break into, though. I mean, I
it
even
is
get
tricky to
locked
break
out.
into. Yeah. Yeah. And again, like the
Using
government can crack into that.
what do you
There's no question.
what about what do you call it again? Biometric?
Biometrics, yeah.
Okay. How do you think that's pretty secure?
Yeah, I mean, again, there and you have to be a little careful when you like follow what security researchers talk about because security researchers will tell you that like, nah, man, that's BS. They're easily cracked. Like, and yes, like you can absolutely crack Face ID. You can crack fingerprint scanners. Like
Mhm.
there are a lot of like there is no amount of like consumer grade security that you're going to encounter that couldn't be broken with the right amount of willpower. But the
Mhm.
key thing is like, you know, for those of us who are not spies or high level government people or, um corporate executives of huge
Mhm.
multinational, trillion-dollar firms or whatever, we don't have to worry about that mostly because
Hospitals,
there's not,
patient
yeah.
identity.
But again, when you think about like some of the stuff that has happened with you know, some people who have been targeted by the government for certain things, like they're cracks. I mean,
Mhm.
no amount of your like uh consumer security safeguards are going to protect you.
Okay.
And so if you take the mindset of, you know, if somebody, it's like this podcast, right? We're recording this podcast. We're putting it out on YouTube and Spotify. If there was something to be gained from um, using our likenesses and voices, like it would be a simple thing for someone to like
Yeah.
take, an AI, and it's happened. Like there was what was the story? Oh, it was Heather Cox Richardson was talking about how in California there was someone was using her. I think it was just
Really?
her writing, but they
Wow.
they basically like said they created a fake letter that supposedly she wrote supporting certain candidates in the primaries.
What?
And she's like, that was absolutely not me.
Oh,
And there's a lot of deep fake videos out there.
yeah.
There was a the Kentucky um race that Thomas Massey is in,
Mhm.
because Trump is terrified of him because he's
Yeah.
not going to back down on Epstein. So there's been like deep fake videos against him. Um, so I mean that stuff is all here now,
Yeah.
and we're going to see it. It's going to be so bad in this. And so again, going back to like data, you're not going to see those ads. Most likely, you're not going to see those ads on like, you know, network television or, big cable TV or
Mhm.
whatever, but you don't need to. If you have specific demographic information
Yeah, you gotta
about,
target the people
yeah,
who are most
you
vulnerable.
look at like we don't have to, if you have like a million people, I don't know how many people are going to vote in Kentucky, but if you have say a million people that are voting in this election, it's probably going to boil down to like 10,000 people
Mhm.
who are going to go one way or the other.
Mhm.
And so if you can target like a key portion of those 10,000 people with
Mhm.
something very, very specific that they need to see just at the right moment,
Yep.
like
You
that's
have
all
the
you need.
data
And you
in
have the
order to
data
do
to do
that.
that. And you can get that data
Well,
legally without hacking. But imagine what you do if you also get it illegally and you have stuff that you
oh,
shouldn't have access to.
so I think the other message here is not just about how vulnerable our data is, but it's also how easily we can be manipulated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because I think the other part is like, it's especially when we're doom scrolling,
Yeah.
but it's not even so much the message, it's like the message at the right moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's happened to me where there's times when I'm like scrolling and I like to go, get my news, and then I see something that in that moment is just like, oh my God, this is way worse than I thought. And it's
Mhm.
like devastating. Or sometimes it's positive,
Mhm.
occasionally it still happens. Some good
Yeah,
things
there's
happening in the world.
some good
Sometimes
things.
it's like a good thing hits at the right moment and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna be okay.
Mhm. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. So I grilled you. What are you still chewing on?
Um Scary times. I mean, it's just I I guess the thing is like
Who knows what the future holds?
I and I said it before, and I still feel this way. I'm always like I'm a techno optimist. Like I believe in technology can make human life better, and it has made human life better. And the technology that we have now with the internet and with AI is absolutely incredible, and it can do absolutely incredible things for us and as a species, and um the human race and the planet.
Mhm.
um but I am amazed, and it makes me feel naive that like people are just so many people are shitty,
Mm.
just shitty, selfish, greedy, miserable people.
Well,
And
hopefully it's just a few who have,
it is,
yeah,
but the problem is, you know, they are the ones that are drawn to power.
yes, and they hold the reins.
Yes.
Well, does any of this feel relatively ordinary?
You know what? This is maybe the first thing that doesn't feel
I
relatively
know.
ordinary
That's what I was
because
thinking.
I mean, again, it's like there's always been, for as long as there's been power, there's been abusive power,
Yeah,
but
maybe that's it.
it's so, sort of like, I don't know, it's just like asymmetric and, um, I don't think there's never been an ability to have like a hold on people's minds
Mhm.
like we have now.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest thing. Like you can, in the past when you wanted to control a population, I mean, divide and conquer is the oldest strategy, right? And that's
Mhm.
literally what they're doing when they try to divide you into red and blue,
Yeah.
left and right. Like that's just divide and conquer. It's the
Mhm.
same oldest trick in the book. But you you had to like find you know, key people, key organizations, and control the levers there. Now you have the ability to reach people at an individual level.
Mhm.
And the biggest weapon that we've had in our democracy against being manipulated in that way is um, free
Freedom.
thinking
Yeah.
and liberal thought. And when you attack that, you have the attack that the right has tried on and is succeeding at in a lot of ways on liberal thought in this country. It's systemic, going after science, research, universities.
Mhm.
It's um trying to paint the left, the radical left and all that rhetoric, right? Trying to, like, anyone who is um you know who is a free thinker and is opposed to this is our enemy.
Mhm.
And then you have the constant psychological warfare. It's like, if I'm just constantly, I think of, like, I think it was Manuel Noriega that when we when the military ousted him, they played like heavy metal music outside of his house 24/7, just to, like, make it so that he couldn't sleep, he could never get a moment of
Mm.
relaxation, and he would finally just, like, lose it and do something drastic, come out of the house, and then they could capture him.
Yeah.
And I think that they are doing that. I think so much of the constant chaos and just things that just seem so outlandish and outrageous is just a war on, your senses, on your common sense,
T
and it just
to
gets
oust
you.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to not have a clear thought, to not have a moment to
Mhm.
relax and organize. They want you to constantly be frayed
Mhm.
and angry and nervous.
Mhm. Well, this became, a little more political in your
Well, it's all political. I mean, you ask about cybersecurity, like, this is what it is.
It is, it
It's
is.
we're trying to
But
protect we're trying to protect ourselves from malicious actors.
yes. Yes, yes. But, I think it's been going on for several decades now, and there's
That our own government has been trying to undermine American democracy. No, that has not been going on for several decades.
no,
That's
no.
relatively new.
That's relatively new, but the fact that as long as we've had, some digital age, there have been people trying to take advantage of it. What I
Yes.
mean, so
Yes. I mean, that is true. Like, as soon as you put some information out there of value, someone's going to
Mhm.
try to steal it, right?
Yeah, but it's definitely escalated. So,
Yeah.
well, good discussion. I thought you would nerd out on this one. I learned what cookies are, among other things, so
Yes.
that's great.
Yep. Yep. It's just that creepy guy following you around the mall.
I know. Wow, that was a good analogy. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thanks for a good talk, babe.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.